dia, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. Now, it's Friday. It's Feelgood Friday, and it's a time when a man counts his blessings and thinks to himself, I have tea to drink. The sun is shining. Not only do I have tea to drink, I have tea to drink from a Good Morning Portugal mug. And not only that, as I continue to count my blessings, I look at my little trainers and I think to myself, what a lucky fellow I am. I have everything. I have everything in this world, including a phone call coming in from Lisbon again, as it does every time this morning. Don't they know we're trying to do a show here? And not only that, as if it couldn't get any better than that, it's time for some of this. It's Feel Good Friday, everybody.
It's Feel Good Friday. It's Feel Good Friday. It's Feel Good Friday. Feeling good on a Friday with Cal Munson and Jenni B. Whoa. It's Feel Good Friday.
Jenni B, we could just leave it there. Our work is done this morning.
I think we made a great contribution for the world today. I think we can go for a swim now, Carl.
Go for a swim. People are anticipating Feel Good Friday. Morning, lovely people from Deborah Davies. Good morning to you, Deborah. And bon dia to all you lovely people. Listen, check this atmosphere out that we've got going this morning. Jacqueline CDM, good morning to you. Paul Richards, even the somewhat serious Yorkshireman from a wet Harrogate in Yorkshire, says it looks like 4 seasons in one day, perhaps snow. Or maybe that's not such a good thing. I don't know. Mark Stoll, good morning to you anyway, Paul. Bon dia from Mark as well. Hello, Mark. How are you? Fiona Worrell, good morning, beautiful people. Bon dia from Stephen Wells. Bon dia from Antonio F. Bon dia from Jim White in Baltimore. Feeling good in Baltimore. Whoa. Sing the two of you. Morning, Jim. And Joel. I think even Joel's feeling it. And that's saying something. Good morning to you, Joel, in Butter Genius this morning. Jenni B, what's going on this morning? How are you? Where you been? What have you been up to?
Man, so exciting. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I'm so happy to be back. It felt long. It wasn't that long, I think, but it felt long.
Yeah, true.
And today I'm so super excited because, everybody's got his pitfalls. And I have a really, really big heart project, which I'd like to talk about today.
Excellent.
And that is called Rainbow Warriors. And it is a kids project. And this is why my heart is beating for it so much. And I try to more or less successfully hide it a little bit, so there's not too many people knowing about it. But now it's the time to step out with it, to make it with myself visible, and to get it started. Finally.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for making this the place to do that, by the sound of it. Michelle's also here. Bon dia, alegria. I love your shows, Jenni. So I think you have a very a warm and receptive crowd here for this. Lonnie McLaughlin is here, or McLaughlin. Bon dia from Porto. He's back in Porto. Lonnie, it was so lovely to see you yesterday. It really was fantastic. Thank you for being here on the show again this morning. And Sonia G, bon dia. So, Jenni, tell us more about this wonderful Rainbow Kids. Is it a little bit of, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them show the way. It's that sort of thing, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, a little bit. I'd like to. Some people who follow the show know me already, so they know I'm the founder of Wholly Healthy. I do have my holistic health program based on my educational background, which is the nutritional science, the pharmacy, and the psychology. And some already know that I also do work with children. But what probably most of you don't know is what's hidden in here, the big plan that's hidden in there. And I'd like to share a little bit about that today.
I'd love you to do that. So it sounds amazing. And yeah, I'm feeling a sense of anticipation because it is important, isn't it, that people share what's in their hearts, and we don't often get a chance to do that necessarily. You know, the world goes about its way in a certain kind of way, and a very particular pandemic-y kind of way at the moment. Very important to keep it up on the upside of inspiration and possibility, and what lies beyond these somewhat turbulent times. And I think that is exactly what you're talking about. So do tell us more.
Yeah. I really, really appreciate, Carl, that you give me the chance to speak about it here. There's no words how much I appreciate that. So I'd like to start with a little anecdote. Maybe a few of us can relate to it, because, you know, we all live our lives and we all have our toolbox with the resources, what we learn in school, what we learn from our parents. And sooner or later, we all hit the point where none of our resources, none of our tools in our toolbox really match. We're still using them because we got nothing else, but we know, maybe I could have done this a bit better. Yeah. And then sooner or later, we hit the time where we eventually learn, but most of us really have to learn it the hard way, isn't it? And I'm speaking about things we talk about here in the show: drawing your boundaries, setting your limits, communicating your needs without hurting people. Things like that really, really go into the depth of what do I want actually, and daring to be you and speak from your heart. And I mean, authenticity is such a big thing here. I know a topic around me as well. So I thought, okay, now I really have to strip naked now. I really got to get out with all of that. So I've noticed for myself and with the work, with the people I'm doing, that, you know, often it's kind of like the same things we all go through. It's the same things we haven't learned when we were kids, and it's the same things we're now learning in a really, really, really hardship. I think we both know, and probably a lot of people are listening as well, once you open this door towards personal development, spiritual evolvement, or whatever you want to call it, you can't close it again. It's like once it's open, it's open. It's as if it's ripped out of the frame and there's no other way than going there. Indeed. And we learn after a while it's more painful to turn your back towards your own self and your heart and the true desires you have than actually facing them and dealing with it. Same like emotions. Have we not all learned how much better it is to suppress unwanted emotions like anger, sadness, instead of taking a moment, looking at it, appreciating it, and therefore dissolve it? It's for all of us. It's such a big thing to learn now. But don't we also not all know that children, they're like sponges. They learn so much quicker, whether it is a language or whether it is a life skill. They know so much more what's best for them. They're still so much closer to their intuition. Where we grown-ups, we already have this big ego, lots of them eventually, and that's saying, no, not sure about that. Nah, look, we made it that far without it, so we might just go on like that. You know, it won't be too bad. Come on.
Yeah, but this mask is perfect for me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of got used to it.
Yeah, that's right. It's all very well this German woman coming on telling us to be more authentic, but I'm fine, thank you very much.
Exactly. Or exactly what we were talking lots about as well, the triggers you have within relationships, whether it is your romantic partner relationship, whether it is in a relationship with your friend in school, whatever, at work. There are these personal pitfalls, I call them, our personal blind spots. We know they're there, but we best not talk about it or, you know, admit that we have them. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Everything's fine.
So, but then I thought, you know what? If we would teach these things our children, and if we would give them these core values, then they would pass it on to their children because it is their core values. And with core values, I might mean things like core beliefs we talked about when it was about the inner child and other things. It's these things that are deeply imprinted in us, like, I don't deserve it, I'm not good enough, life is hard, no pain, no gain, all these things. But if we'd actually build up the basic trust a lot of us are lacking in within our children, so they know life is happening for the good. Whatever happens, I'm right here. And I can change my life by taking over responsibility, because that gives me back my control.
Yes.
So there are lots of programs out there in the world to prevent violence, or particularly a lot of parental training programs are out in the world.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who know I'm a psychologist, what I'd like to stress here is that during my training at university, my bachelor thesis was about the international comparison about the usage of parental trainings, where I clearly saw it doesn't make any sense to train the parents, though, honestly. Because they might listen to it and then they go like, yeah, but that is really not aligned with my ego. I can't do it. I just can't do it. You know, of course we all have that. Nobody's perfect. And oh my God, thanks for this. Otherwise the world would be so boring. So you cannot promise your child a rose garden without stings. You know, it will. If you touch a rose, there's a chance that you hurt yourself. If you're living, there's a chance that you get hurt. That you have the roller coaster what life is. But it is about preparing them to bless the valley, because they're faithful in that there's a rising following, and that the deeper the valley, the higher the rising.
Oh, listen to you.
There, I got a moment. I'm on a run this morning.
Yeah.
So, and then another thing I did, I had two advanced fields. They were specified for children as well. That was rehabilitation psychology, communication psychology, health and prevention. So I did focus a lot about, or I got a big insight in prevention programs and the whole lot, what's offered, what's out there, how it is supported, how it's not used, and how it's kind of like in the back drawer somewhere. We have it, but we're not making a big fuss out of it. And also what's there is kind of obsolete. And then who gets it offered? The people who are struggling anyway, or they are not taking it because they don't like to admit that they're struggling, or they simply, without being judgmental, they simply don't have the intellectual capacity to understand that there might be eventually something wrong, because they're traumatized themselves, whatever, path goes on.
Yes.
So then I've noticed, I've always had the two things that are make my heart cheer. Good morning, Jacqueline. Have a wonderful Friday yourself. You can watch a review if you wish, the recording if you wish.
Sorry, Jenny, I need to put that on the screen because, Jacqueline's off out again doing good stuff around Caldash. Just wanted to acknowledge you, Jacqueline, for being here, and we'll see you soon. But go on, Jenny. Don't worry about what's on the screen.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll block it out. So the thing is, I thought, right, if we teach this our children, like I said, and bring these core values into them, they will pass it on. But how do we do that? And also, who could do that? Well, there I am. Here comes me into the game. But all the things I've learned and the combination I have in my trainings, plus my heart, really, what makes my heart cheer is really kids and dogs and nature. That's the things like where my heart goes like, okay, bubbles, but we take this away out the record. Right. So then I thought, right, actually, I have all the skills that would be needed for it, and I have the passion.
Yeah.
So the big vision of this whole project, and it's called Rainbow Warriors because it's partly chakra based. For those who don't know what a chakra is an energy, sort of like an invisible energy wheel within your body, and we have 7 of that aligned on our spine, which provide our body in particular systems with energy or not, whether they are spinning or not.
Can I just check with you? that. I don't suppose you learned that at psychology school, though, did you?
No, no.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay.
But that's the thing. It's really, the whole program is really a mix out of my life experience and the things I've learned in my profession, you know, and that's the beauty of it for me personally, and I think also for what the kids and anyone who's participating can benefit from, because the big vision is not just that I teach the kids. The big vision is that I teach the teachers or the parents, so the kids can take it home, the parents can implement it at home, and first and foremost, the teachers apply it at school. So at one point, and I know this might be a 50-year goal, but the vision and the big idea behind Rainbow Warriors is to make it a mandatory school program internationally. Wow. I know this is like super big, but I think that's what we need. And you know, if not dreaming big, where to start?
Absolutely. No, I love it. Big, and a long-term vision as well. I love the sound of that. Yeah. I can tell you're serious about this.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, so for me, in my vision, it's split up in 3 parts. It's the school program, it is the book, which is just a nice approach for children to make it a nice story, you know, how the little kid wanders through the world and learns about the superpowers that are hidden within itself and how to become your own superhero. And then the camp. And the camp is what I'd like to focus on in that show here and what I'm about to kick off. So the camp I'd like to, or I call it a kids education center for permaculture, mindfulness, and pro-social behavior. So it has these 3 big pillars of permaculture, mindfulness, and pro-social behavior. It will be like a camp where children, school classes, teachers, groups, families can come, and where there will be, of course, agriculture on a permaculture basis, based on the no dig way. I've also have a big, how would they call it? Well, they produce effective microorganisms, and it is a company. They are acting worldwide in supporting our environment and recreate the balance within the soil and therefore within the food we produce with it. So there are
regenerative agriculture, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you. That would be the expression I was looking for.
But it's a beautiful analogy, isn't it? Because I think what you're talking about is a regenerative approach to education and to bringing kids up, right? And again, you know, the children are the microorganisms of culture, aren't they? Of human culture. So what better place to work on the soil that they're in and on their health to create a massive macro organism of a renewed and rejuvenated planet Earth. Yes. I'm liking this so far, Jenny.
Thank you. I love the metaphor you brought there, because that's exactly what it is. And it is, from the permacultural point of view, it is to teach them the natural cycles we are in and we can live in synergy with. The synergies between humans, animals, and nature, to explain it to them. So to show them, and I think we also can agree on the fact that also in this department, there's so much knowledge got lost over the last 100 years. And now a lot of people start to get this back, start to learn themselves. I mean, there's so many movements out there, so many eco projects, whatever. The people want to learn again how it is to live sustainably with nature. And how beautiful would that be if we teach it our children, so they have the fun with it again, because that's what they do. They see the joy in it. They see the playfulness with it. They have this, what we talk about it, what we lose so often, this childish curiosity to explore the world and see the fascination behind the single thing. And is it not much more fascinating to see the cow out grazing and then milking it and then enjoying the milk, instead of buying it in a bloody Tetra Pak in the supermarket where I got no relation to it whatsoever? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's so
Absolutely.
it's these tiny things bring back the fascination for the planet we are in, bringing back, and that's why permaculture, in the sense of environmental consciousness, is a really important thing for me. Because, when I was a kid, I've still learned, okay, pick up things from the road because it's rubbish, it doesn't belong there. But I also know a lot of people who learned, don't pick up anything from the road because it's dirt. Yeah, if I'm not picking it up, who's picking it up? If I learn to throw it there, that's no cool. And it's about this overall understanding of respect and appreciation for the planet, for ourselves, within each other, for humankind again. And that's why my slogan is creating balance. Learn to create balance within and around us. Yeah, there you go. Learn to create balance in and around us, because that's what it's all about. And I think we by now, with the life experience we have, we know this as well. It is about the balance, whether it is the work-life balance, whether it is a balanced nutrition. It's all about the balance. You can go partying, but make sure that you have a bit of a calming time in between. You can go working, but make sure it's not an 80-hour a week and things like that. So it is about finding the balance. And in this project, it is to teach the children how they can create the balance within themselves, so this spreads. I call it to teach them the ripple effect of love.
Yes.
Because we all know that's something that spreads when you share, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when's the first camp? When can I book my kids in?
As soon as you give me your money.
Oh, I see.
No.
I see.
But so here we are. The thing is, it starts with the camp, and that's now where I'm like a bit shaking my head, because I've been in a similar situation about a year ago. There was a property that came up, everything looked fine. I reached out to a lot of people who would want to contribute or set a sponsorship. Then overnight, everything skipped, and I was like, right, okay. Was not the time, was not the place, but I have to tell you, it correlated quite negatively with my patience in that regard. So it took me a while to understand and accept that if you want to build up long-lasting, sustainable things, it takes its time. So by now, I appreciate that it wasn't happening at that time around. So it's these moments in life where you let go of an idea and all of a sudden, universe let it flow down on you.
Yes, yes.
And that's the reason why I'm here in the show today. I want to talk about this project, because before it was like, yeah, I have this project, but no real anchor. And in order to get this vision out there in the world, we have to plant a seed, or I want to plant a seed, and we need to start somewhere. And the starting point will be the camp. And the camp is now about to happen because I found a property. Ta-da! And now this property is absolutely perfect. Exactly what I was manifesting in my head, how Rainbow Warriors could look like. So we got I can't find words for it. Excuse me?
No, because is it a permanent base then? You're creating a center. That's the first step.
Yes, the first step is to create this education center for permaculture, mindfulness, and pro-social behavior, where kids then can come in, leading up to having like a 1 week experience, so we can work through all the chakras as well in this time. But to start off, whilst it is in development, it will be people coming in on a daily basis to help setting up the project, in the sense of that at some point we'll have the accommodation and the facilities to hospitalize people for the week. And then it can be, families can participate, because it's also something that adults can learn, and it's beautiful to learn it together as a family. It can be any age group of children. of course, the mediation of the content will be tailored to the age group or the size or the needs, because sometimes it might be a group of children with special needs, which is also possible to get in there. That's the beauty of me having my professionalism and my expertise and my being.
And your great big heart, I think,
Yes.
is we're talking about here, and that's
Yes.
very evident to those of us who know you or who've got to know you in this context, Jenny. So let's. This is wonderful. Well, let's unpack it a little bit further this morning. It's Feelgood Friday on the Good Morning Portugal show. Jenni B's here talking about the new. Oh, that's the logo's disappeared for a moment. I'll get that back on the screen at some stage during the show. But we're talking about the Rainbow Warriors, a new initiative to, I suppose, approach the education of children in a slightly different way. And education, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but the word education, as I'm sure you know, and probably other people do, but I think it's worth reiterating. Education literally, originally means the bringing forth or bringing out of people what is, I think, is good. I mean, I'm adding to it now, but what is naturally good and great in human beings. Education's become stuffing things into kids, isn't it? Information and data, and then testing them on it. And I don't think the results are that good. They're good for some people, but it doesn't seem to work on a very comprehensive basis to be educating people in that industrial way, necessarily for the world that's emerging at the moment, or hopefully will emerge. Patricia Gorst is here. Morning from Scotland. Originally from Manchester, and that's why you're saying good morning, lass. That's Lee McGrady, and good morning, people. Mark Cockerton's here. Bon dia, Carl and Jenny. Hello, Mark. How are you, mate? Will Thompson also here. Now, I can see Will Thompson being at such a camp, teaching kids about solar energy, for example. I think, Will is a great guy, and he finds himself, I think, battling with adults so much. And this very thing you're talking about, fixed mindsets. Will, I think, has a massive challenge with that constantly, and always has had in his professional life, probably personal life. Obviously, he's got to get over the gut bug before we're going to let him anywhere near the kids. But I can see him being in a different way, teaching kids to how he might be battling with the adults. And I think kids would find him fascinating because he looks like the BFG as well, which would really help. Will, stop eating chicken out of dumpsters. That'll help, I think, with that thing. Have you been dumpster diving again, skip diving at the supermarkets? Bon dia, Carl and Jenny, still recovering from the gut bug, and he needs electrolytes. So maybe there's electrolytes in the old dumpster out there. Or if you're anywhere near Will, get him some electrolytes quick. It sounds like he needs some help with that recovery. We've said hello to Jacqueline. She'll be out and about doing good things, I'm sure, by now. Bon dia, good morning, Portugal. Life is a bowl of problems, which we have the opportunity to turn into a bowl of cherries. Very philosophical this morning, Capricorn 12. Enjoy the good times, because there will also be bad times. Hashtag appreciate the good. And that's what I was doing as I was kissing my little trainers this morning. I don't know if you were here for that, Capricorn 12. Bon dia, everyone from Andrew. And Ian is here as well. Bon dia, Carly, Jenny. Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm a little late this morning, but I was taking Jenny's advice. Is this your advice? Encouraging people to have a moment for themselves in the shower? Anyway, back to looking after the grandkids now. Catch you later. Cheers, Ian. And as we always say to each other, we must talk soon. Paul, the human race is the only species that takes pleasure in hurting itself. Will we ever learn? Well, yes, we will. And this is how, this very subject matter this morning, Paul. Nunu, good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Carl. Good morning, all. Nunu, he works in the scouting movement. There are some parallels here, aren't there, in the scouting movement and all the wonderful work that takes place there. Bon dia a todos, Amsterdam. A little late to the show this morning. Matthias, good morning to you. Instead of picking things up, he continues. Teach them not to throw it there in the first place. Well said. I like the litter picking. As kids in Shetland, us kids had beach litter picking events. Shetlanders were proud as a community of clean beaches. I pick up each place I've been stopping through Portugal. He's like a ninja. You would not know. He's sometimes in the woods. He can see you. You can't see him. And there is no trace when he leaves the site. No trace of him being there. Maybe he's even improved it a little bit. Not likely, says Anne. Oh, give over, you two. This is a little oasis of positivity and dynamism. The human race can learn. Morning, guys, from Facebook user. I think that might be Fiona. How exciting, says Jim White. Thank you for your support, Jim. Fab idea, we must talk, from that Facebook user. You're going to have to let us know who you are first, though, so that we can talk. Mindfulness. Okay, the question coming in there. Most people get mindfulness. Yes, it's big, isn't it, in the world at the moment? Permaculture and pro-social, not so sure. Plainer words, sustainability and kindness. Just thinking about the marketing in our social media world, says Mark. So a little bit. Do you want to respond to that, or are we just going to make a note of that, Jenny?
Keep on going. I'll talk with Mark later about it.
We'll talk to the marketing department later on. Bon dia, alegria a todos. Jenny, thank you for instilling deep introspective thinking. Carl, how did my earnest pearl necklace search cause an uncontrollable giggle attack for you and guest Michael? Virginia, I'm still not sure if you put that there just to cause that or not. We're still not sure about that, but thank you for, oh gosh, thank you for that moment of levity. And I have to say, Michael had, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, but he had quite a difficult month before, and that moment of unguarded giggling was real therapy to him and to me. It was whatever you did and why you did it. It was really beautiful to, when laughter, sometimes it's quite a sort of not formulaic, but someone says a joke, you laugh. But when you get hit by an attack of the giggles that you're not expecting, to me, that's very deep therapy, because it takes you by surprise. And he and I were crying, as you saw on the screen there. So thank you, Virginia. Whatever your motive, the outcome was absolutely beautiful. Mark, sustainability, mindfulness, and kindness. There he is. We're working on the copy there. David Durham's here. Bon dia. ¿Cómo estamos? Muito bem. Talking about such a noble idea this morning, David, and I'm sure you'll have something to say about it too. Children being the future, etc., and how to install the right software and programs, or more. I guess, kinder, more sustainable, pro-social. That's what we're talking about. Where is the new project based? Fiona wants to know. So can you let's do a few more of the comments, and we'll come back to that question of where. Good morning. This sounds amazing. Will you be putting links up? Says Julia McCollum there. I think I've got that right. I did teach outdoor adventure and natural science to kids in the Isle of Wight for 2 years and 5 years in Taiwan. The kids much easier than adults. I'm sure you'd be so good at that, Will. Not sure it's the kids that need lessons. It's often the way, and it's usually the adults. But I can see you teaching kids and having a great time, Will. Good morning, Nunu from Jim. Raquel is here. Bon dia, Carl and Jenny. I saw the topic. Whitney's song came to mind. Carl mentions it. Great experience, like no other, to work with kids. They will keep you on your toes. They're great teachers on forgiveness. How lovely. Matthias, hopefully I can contribute to the idea and/or camp when I've moved to Portugal. The more the merrier, I suspect. Elaine Godley, yes. So you and Elaine need to have a chat. Isn't that lovely? I like to take a warm shower, then put it on ice as cold as possible and force myself to deal with it. Exercises, sympathetic nervous system relaxes me. That sounds very Northern European to me.
I do that too.
What you like, you lot. Teaching that to kids is a great investment in the future of the planet. Thank you, Antonio F. There is laughing therapy thingy. So yes, can be therapeutic. No question. We've done a bit of laughter yoga on the show here. Bon dia. Ron in Kashkai, she's here. Every day is a holiday. Every meal is a banquet. That's a lovely approach to life, isn't it? Stolen, but positive words to live by in an uncertain world. Gratitude in each lived day. Absolutely, Ron. That's lovely. Every day's a holiday, each meal a banquet. Will the camp be full of lava lamp and the smell of incense? You know what? Will all the kids have to grow beards? I could do that bit if you want. If you want me to do the session on growing a beard, I might be able to help with it. It took me quite a long time to do this, but I'm very happy to assist in that department. Mark, what is he like? This cold water shock is a Roman idea and was taken very seriously. I also do this, but look what happened to them. Let me add. Maybe they were doing that at the end of their empire. You've got to join the dots here, guys. Every day's a holiday. Every meal's a banquet. Every shower is an opportunity to luxuriate, not give yourself shock therapy. Anyway, let's not get too stuck in that department. Where was the question from somebody, right?
Yes. I mean, it will be in beautiful central Portugal. The property I'm aiming at is very close to me here now, so between Tomar and Coimbra, basically. But that's exactly the point why I'm here, guys, because I'm looking for support to actually purchase the property so we can get started. The rest will more or less be muscle power, support. Like I said it in the post I put out yesterday to get people aware of the show happening this morning. This is not a one-man show. I might be the one who's got the skills for the teaching and the whole lot and brings the whole concept together. But at the end of the day, I won't be able to do that alone. So that is something we can all contribute to in whichever way, shape, or form. But I think it's also something that is related to all of us. It's also something we can all benefit from. And it's also something, when I speak about this program, I like to say, if we already leave such a disastrous heritage to the children on this planet with the world we're living in, we shall at least give them the tools to dig themselves out of the SHIT.
Wow, that is profound. That is profound, Jenny, because I think a lot of even my mum has got this idea. It's like, well, sorry, we've messed it up, but it's over to you now. And I think quite a lot of elders are a little bit resigned, maybe because they feel quite impotent or overwhelmed by it. But you make a really fantastic and beautiful point there. We don't know what to do, but we're going to leave you with some useful tools that might help you with this. What else could you do as a parent? That's a lovely attitude.
Exactly. And the thing is, as an adult, I think what you can do is give your child the freedom to learn these things, even though that means you will learn from your child.
Yes.
But it's not always to be the superior one. It's not always to be the strong one. I think our children are really good teachers in particularly vulnerability. And if I think back, one of the things they were always giving me a bit of an unpleasant gut feeling is that my mom always tried to be perfect.
Yeah.
But we all know nobody is. And that's the beauty of it. And is it not much more charming and not much more loving if, I don't know, typical example, as a lady, she always said, I'm not farting.
What does she say?
And you think like, I just heard you farting. And she's like, no. I haven't fought. But, in that moment, would that not be much more fun for the whole family? She'd go like, yeah, but don't tell daddy. Things like that. I don't know. But it's the things in any relationship, whether with kids, but that's the one where you can't drag yourself out like you can when you meet friends and it gets uncomfortable and you just go like, oh, you know what? I really got to go home. But with kids, not a chance. But I'd like to pick up something what you've been saying there before about the education, because that is the big why do we need something like Rainbow Warriors? And it might be obvious to some extent, but exactly what you said there with the education is something I'd really like to stress here. The education system we are still having in schools is based on the 19th century to produce factory workers.
Yeah.
That's not what we need anymore. And I think us as all being part of this school system, we already noticed how quickly we ran against the wall because what we learned there is not what we actually need in life.
Yeah.
So we don't learn life skills. And permaculture is that one thing. Mindfulness is that other thing that is something very personal and probably goes more into depth with the connection you have towards yourself, creating a positive body awareness, creating the self-trust so you also be able to trust others. But with the pro-social behavior, that's kind of like where both of the things intertwine and come together. The pro-social behavior is particularly empathy, impulse control, emotion regulation. How many grown-ups, Carl, between us and whoever's watching, how many adults do you know who are not able to regulate their emotions? I know quite a lot.
I know very few people who have a healthy and truly adult relationship with their emotions, quite frankly, because you're right. This is not something that's touched in school. And I suppose we swim in a dysfunctional sea of that, so nobody would know any better necessarily, would they? So and you know, we've found ways of dealing with that, haven't we? Like alcohol and avoidance and escapism. You know, it's all working perfectly well.
But
What?
beautifully said, Carl, because that's exactly the tools I was talking about. Kids learn from a model. So
Yeah.
with our, excuse me, sick society we have at the moment, what are the coping strategies they get presented as something to bring you through life? Exactly what you say. Drugs, pills, alcohol, isolating yourself, video games, smartphones, whatever, any possible distraction out there. And that was another reason why Kentucky 19 hit so many people so hard,
Yes.
because they were all of a sudden faced with the BS they have been suppressing all the time. And, just go on regardless. Just go on functioning. Don't worry about it. La, la, la. So you go on, but it piles up. Your body is an interacting system. You can't treat your little finger without treating your stomach, and the other way around. It all interconnects. So if you abuse your body by eating junk food all day, excuse me, but don't be surprised if you're not going to be winning a Nobel Prize, because your brain might not be the best productive one. Or
For anyone working on a Nobel Prize at the moment, take that advice. Take that advice from Jenny. Jenny, we've got a load more comments, and I think we should include people in this discussion.
bring them in.
We need to find out more about how we can help with this. I think I missed. How could I miss this earlier on? Have a beautiful day, everyone. It's Feel Good. It's Mr. Feel Good Friday himself, the man you heard singing us into the show. He serenades us to every Friday Feel Good Friday session with Jenny. I mean, that is perfect conditioning for us as we come into the show. My body responds to that music, so thank you, Owen, for that. Lots of comments this morning. Let's find out, where did we get to? Elaine's here. Elaine has made a lovely offer. Here it is. No, before we go there, yes, the warm shower is very good for the blood circulation, says Matthias there. I am watching, listening via the Facebook Health and Happiness community. Not sure why I'm showing up as a user. We've got you though, Elaine. Jenni B can use my DISC behavior profiling tool within the project with my compliments. That's a very kind offer. By the way, belly laughter massages the stomach, and you get free face yoga in the bargain too. Absolutely did. And this is beautiful, Jim. My friend says, when you celebrate what's right with the world, you free up energy to fix what's wrong. How lovely. David, I like that. Give them real tools to deal with the struggle of living. I thought you might. Learning is a lifelong process. And as you were saying, at the moment, and I wanted to say, we're not talking any disrespect to teachers here. I mean, without you, the whole society would fall apart, because we know that you are police officers now, you're social workers, you're nutritionists, as well as trying to be teachers. But sadly, I think you're in a system where it's created for the 19th century industrial world, using 20th century tools for a 21st century world. It hasn't kind of caught up with itself yet. And this is what we're talking about this morning. Jenny says Owen has the heart, soul, and passion to succeed. It's a fantastic project, and I know Owen's going to be involved as well. There is also something called awareness. Kind of same corner, absolutely, Matthias. Awareness, yeah. Where are you from, Jenny? Sorry if I missed it already. Where are you from, Jenny?
Originally from Germany, born and raised in Germany, and now living in Portugal.
There you go. Because everybody does it does not mean it's right or good. Absolutely. You only got to look at Love Island for that. Whoa, hold on. Hold the front page. Jersey is now in Lisbon. Jersey, I'm so pleased to hear that. How's it going? I mean, any chance of a photo of you in a selfie in Lisbon? What a lovely thing. So yeah, if you've got time, you're probably too busy stuffing your face with pastel de natas and drinking coffee and taking it all in, wide-eyed. 351-913-590-303 if you want to send in a photo of yourself enjoying in Lisbon. But congratulations, Parabéns, Jersey, on making the epic trip and being there right now in Lisbon. That's fantastic. So we could talk German when we meet. You could. There's Matthias. You can if you want. I'll give that a go as well. Love Island. Hippa! Hippa! From Englishman Andy, who's now well into that Portuguese response to things. like a Portuguese dad responding to that stuff. Love Island. Okay, we have so you obviously need money for this, don't you? We live in a world of money. I guess that's something else that the kids are going to be taught, not to define themselves by money, but actually it's very useful. Money management skills would not go amiss as well, I would say. Would you agree, Jenny? Who seems to have frozen up now, but with a lovely smile on her face. Or she's pranking me. She might have done a frozen pose on the screen like that. Shall I do that as well? No, she's definitely frozen up there. I'm going to give the link. I'm going to leave a PayPal link. What I'm going to suggest, she's back. She's back on a different stream now. We've got two of you, Jenny. Look, we've got a nice smiling one of you in the middle. Do you want two of you, or would one be enough?
My laptop crashed, guys.
We can hear you. We can hear you now. Absolutely no problem. Hello?
I think now we're back, yeah? Is it all good now?
Absolutely got you back. Absolutely got you back. In every way. We've got your back and we've got you back. And I was just putting up the link to contribute towards the thing here. And I was going to say, this is a PayPal link. Are you going to do an official crowdfunder? Are you going to take that approach?
Pardon? Excuse me?
Are you going to do it like a crowdfunding page where people can see? Okay, so yeah, all right. Any early donations? Then you're accepting this way by the look of it on PayPal.
Yes, exactly. So I'm now in the process of finding out what I can do and if it's smart to create a foundation out of it.
Yeah.
Out of the whole project, but because the property came up out of nowhere. And a bit like, you know how these things go. You're never prepared for it. It's like, what now? Oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? So
that's life.
My financial freedom is a bit limited in that regard, in the sense of I do have a bit, but I don't have enough to pay the full property. That's why I thought now is probably the best chance to contribute on a financial level, or let's say it's the most intense phase of being able to support, because once this is there, everything goes and flows with the process itself anyway. But it's the initial kickoff where I'm asking all of you loving, sweet, great people to give what you can, whether it is good thoughts, your love, including us, as in me, Owen, and the kids, into your evening prayers, or eventually you have a spare euro in order to set this project up and teach our kids what they need to know, teach them what we have had to learn the hard way for them to make life easier.
That's an interesting way of looking at it, isn't it? It's taken me 56 years to learn some stuff that you've still got to live your life and learn a few lessons, but I'm sure it doesn't have to be quite as hard as we make it.
Exactly.
So, and this is where you come in with this project. Let's get down to the nitty gritty then. How big is the property? How much do you need? What's the target?
Right. The target is 20,000.
Is that all?
No, that's what I need on top of what I already have.
Okay, all right.
But that's all. It is, the property is about 1 hectare. It's perfect because it is kind of like separated in 2 compartments, around 5,000 square meters each. One of it is already set up as the agricultural part. So it just needs a bit of work, obviously, to set it up the way we think it would be smart. So a few vines will be taken down, the olives will be spread over the property itself, then there can be a tiny polytunnel, so we have space to use whatever has been there with the vines for things like beans, tomatoes, or everything that grows up. The other 5,000 square meters of the property are more or less the public area, where things like the beehives will be the kitchen, the chickens, but also a big kitchen where the crops will be processed together with the children, so they learn also about, simple example, if you go through the chakras, root chakra, what what food is benefiting your root chakra to get back into the energy. So your root chakra reflects safety and protection. In order to create this in your body when you might not feel as safe, you can eat root vegetables like potatoes, beetroot, carrots. So the kids learn through processing the foods we harvest. They will also learn about the benefits of that for their body and how they can use it to activate the certain chakras in whichever way it's necessary for them in that moment.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I mean, for some people hearing that, they're going to be thinking, what on earth is she talking about? Eating for your right chakras, etc. But this, whichever way you look at it, let's face it, when we feel like we need grounding or earthing, or we feel a little bit up here and a bit whizzy, what do people eat? They instinctively eat rice and potatoes, don't they? And they bring themselves back into their bellies, into their roots, and comfort food. If you look at comfort food, it tends to respond to a certain chakra in your system, doesn't it? So the universal messages are there in what you're talking about. And wouldn't it be amazing if children could eat, if their body chose the food rather than their mind? And we know this is what happens, isn't it? With a happy meal, that is a manipulation of the mind and the parents. And I'm not a McDonald's basher. I don't think knocking things is really that great a thing. It's exactly what Jenny says. It's about balance, isn't it? She could be called Jenny Balance as well as Jenny Baraku, because that's what it's all about, is the balance thing. But if we could teach kids to eat from their body and their instinct and their intuition, as well as just getting the plastic toy, we'd have, again, that would be a revolution, wouldn't it, in how this planet operates.
But that's exactly what it is about. Thank you for that, because it is regaining, and that's what we also try a lot. It is regaining and reestablishing this intuitive approach towards food. Exactly what you say, to have such a good body connection as well through the mindfulness work, mindfulness movement, that you actually understand the signs of your body. So you know what it needs and what you can do it well with now. Was that was no sensible English, but I think people got
it. Yeah. Well, we're coming into our closing minutes. We've got the idea, Jenny. We have also got a link there if somebody wants to fund in any way. You're being very, I think, very sensitive to where people might be at. But that said, when when I asked you how much money you need, the very good question from Stephen, how big is it? How much do you need? £20,000, euros, is not a lot of money. I thought you were talking about you'd found somewhere it's 100,000 or 200,000 or whatever, and clearly you're putting a lot of your own money in. You're putting your money.
I have.
You're putting
all
everything.
My money, all my love.
That is beautiful. Work. That is beautiful, and I think a bigger conversation is needed. People need to see the level of your commitment, which is clearly there, to see the property itself, to see the plans, to ask questions and answer them like this, not-for-profit social enterprise. Other help might come. There might be people who want to be founding members. I think I fancy that kind of role. Annual membership sounds like a great idea, Mark. Does the property have or need licenses? Can they be obtained at the camera? You can bet your life that they will need something like that, and Jenny will be on that too. But 20K, there are people moving to Portugal on the golden visa ticket who are investing 350,000 in the lower density areas. There are people investing 500,000. In comparison, this is not a big amount of money, and this is something a few of us could get together and do. And also, we discovered, don't we, in the pandemic, the wealthy have got much wealthier. So there are super rich people who've done very well out of this situation, who might think to themselves, I want to give something back to society. And 20K, I think, within the scheme of what some people have made during the pandemic, is a small amount to reinvest socially into society. But that's where my little sermon ends on that. But I think it's true. Where's the location? I can offer mental power, says Andy. So there he's coming in with a physical help. Jenny, go on.
Yeah, the muscle power will come in as soon as I was able to purchase the project, but without the property itself, there's no muscle power needed. I appreciate Andrew. We will go and have a cleaning party for sure. Where we all get rubbish bags. My beautiful partner is going to create some lovely food for us, so we are all fed, and then we can tackle the bin bags and clear the property and do things like that. Nazik, you can find plans if you contact me. Carl, if you would share my email address again, that would be amazing. And yeah, I just wanted to
Jenny,
say
what is it? I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Jennifer Baraku.
No, just jbaraku@gmail.com.
Two R's, two C's?
Yes.
At gmail.com.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, there we go. I think you're going to need, I mean, one of the bits of help you might need is a one-page website. With the or go straight to a GoFunding page. People need to see the vision, don't they? And learn more about it. So there's another job for your list.
Thanks. What I wanted to say in regards of the property, the beauty is with the 20,000 that I'd still need is the property has a borehole already, the property has electricity already, and it's fully fenced in. It's all flat. The agricultural part is preset. There are some, how do you call it, outstanding buildings or something like that?
The outbuildings, yeah.
Yeah, Fiona, I'm definitely going to get in touch with you. Outbuildings, yeah. So it is basically, once I purchased it or was able to purchase it with your help, guys, I can go ahead and basically start right away. That's the beauty of it. And then, Andrew, you're most welcome to bring your muscle power in, and everybody who also is based in Portugal or close, or who would like to help with manpower or woman power, of course, you're most welcome. Like I said, this is not a one-man show. I might be the one who has the idea and the brain and brings it all together and has the enthusiasm and the passion for it. But at the end of the day, I will need your help.
Superb. What a blooming lovely thing to be able to share today. Thank you, Jenni B. I think we should go out in our usual style. We'll bliss out to a little bit of Owen with his music and singing. We wish you collectively all the best with this lovely project, because we believe the children are our future. And I think it's going to be amazing. And I don't think it's a huge target. The hard work will be, when you've got it and putting it into shape. And I'm sure.
And I can't wait.
I'm sure you can't wait. And it's a process, isn't it? It's a process. And the process itself will be educational. And I'm sure people will come together, a community will come together, and they'll learn how to work together. They'll learn about themselves, and they'll have the very framework that you've talked about to make the world a better place. Jenni B, thank you so much, and good luck. Boa sorte with that. Contact her.
It's Feelgood Friday.
You know what to do, folks. Let me put your email address back up on there.
Thank you, everyone.
Feeling good on a Friday with Cal Munson and Jenni B.
Ciao, Jenni. See you later, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.